Since they were going to take me to court after the rearrest of the charge brought back to life that was dropped in 1997, 1998, I decided to go ahead and put down what I said that I wanted to present while I was in court in 1997, which I never got a chance to because I never got home, because I never got a bond to do it. So I immediately went to work, and this started. I had the first 3 pages, but somehow they're missing. But I was only getting warmed up anyway. So here I started here. This is page 3 of what I sent to him. I dropped this on him the night before and went to court on the 15th of July, 2009. So I gave him a little background on some things going on. Since we want to talk about people's psychological well-being. So I gave them a little history coming forth with the connection of what was going on prior to going home, getting home, and then things that were on my mind as I'm trying to put together things with the house, save the house, so I can get my children to be with me in this one place. That was my goal at that point. But I explained here the events that led up to what I came to a conclusion that what it made me tell them what I said in 1997. So I had some exhibits with it, which I don't have here right now, but I did have it in there. They did have it, and it's down in the court. You just can't go in and get it. So right now, as far as they're concerned, they buried this. This is what they got. Explain to them the billboard layout, the house inside of the layout, the triangle, the Great Pyramid, which my mother's house sat inside, Orlando being the dollar bill, showing that the dollar bill is actually a treasury map, treasure map of Orlando. Going back to what led me to there, to come to that conclusion, to come to that understanding, what I was doing at that point in time, August 11th, 1995, when it all began. My experience with pyramids going to Mexico prior to this, 1993, when I made the connection, showing here, things I was able to put together, not looking at it from any point of being in anybody's fraternity, study group, or obsession with the subject. That wasn't the case. Just went back to my childhood as I dug more and more into what was going on, even to the point of getting a dog, the second German Shepherd I had, named Orion or named Hunter, which goes for Orion. Before this, that was 1991. It was 1996 when Orion came to me. The 3 houses, the 5 houses making 5 stars across Orlando. The signs Busch Gardens, showing you that the Busch Gardens making brewery and beer is mentioned in the Book of the Dead, coming forth by day, going forth by night. How it was all connected. Currency. All this here. I didn't need nobody to back up and confirm. I did it and showed it. This is what came to me. To the point of going to Egypt itself. Connecting the Orion and Osiris itself. Whereas people said that's a mythical story. How does a mythical story come to someone who wasn't looking for it, wasn't interested in studying it, so far away from the idea of what that was about. It came to me as if I was researching it. And this came in such a short period of time from 1996 till 1997. There was much time to really put together anything because from 1996 by September, by July 1997, I was arrested and taken to 33rd Street, which I know 33rd Street goes to the 33rd degree, Freemasonic in Orlando, which opened up in 1982, the same year I arrived in Orlando from New York, living in Manhattan, where I can say now the obelisk in Central Park is, that I can connect back to my house on Commander Avenue with two other obelisks, which I can say now is connected to a place that was called Cleo's, which is a gentleman's club in Orlando that had two sphinx on top, which goes to the second pyramid, with the great sphinx, they say, was sitting in front of him, with the dream stellar, as this went on and began with a dream. Like the dream itself, say, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Going back to my 50 years now of coming to Orlando for the first time. And this is Disney World's 50 years celebration, showing you here, all connected. This is what I gave them. And I'm going to show you something after this as I'm staying on point with what I told them back then. Here, you slow it down, stop it. But this is what I gave them the night before I had to go to court on the 15th of July, 2009. I didn't change anything. There's nobody's here. This is not my 2255, somebody giving you a uh, thing where somebody sits there and they go to court and then they tell the prosecutors and U.S. attorneys that they're giving their thing about who did this to that, where you got this from, pointing the finger. This was nothing here, was pointing the finger at anybody. This is what I gave them. That's what I gave them. And this was in 2009. I had no time to go and check what I was talking about when I mentioned the mall at Millennia, the area. I was just home trying to get my house together, minding my own business. So just as if all the time when I always try to put this thing behind me, something would come up and bring it back to the forefront. Just as I sit here now in my father's house, going to King's Charles Drive in an area that's designed as a crown. So after the fact of saying that this was 2009, and I talked about how this is being a Stargate, the layout, and I'll show you now how this is connected.